Beneath the ordinary world lies a veil, and behind it, the voices of the lost still whisper.
We are your guides into the shadows, where true crime meets the paranormal.
From chilling crimes to haunted histories, we uncover the stories that refuse to rest.
This is Veil of Echoes.
Did you think I wouldn't find out? You slept with my husband. Leave. I said leave. You don't get to stand here like nothing happened. You think I'm afraid of you? Shh.
Episode 44. The Murder of Betty Gore.
Welcome back to Veil of Echoes, where true crime meets the unsettling spaces behind ordinary lives.
Each week, we step into moments where something fractures, where relationships splinter, and where what looks like stable on the surface is anything but.
We examine the people, the pressure points, and the quiet decisions that changed everything. We're your host. I'm Lindsay.
I'm Zach.
And I'm Bria. Before we begin, this episode includes discussions of graphic violence, domestic confrontation, and homicide involving an axe. Listener discretion is advised.
If you're listening right now, and you've been here with us, we want to ask you for something small that means a lot.
If Veil of Echoes has ever moved you, unsettled you, or stayed with you after the episode ends, please leave us a rating and a written review on Apple or Spotify.
It might seem like a tiny thing, but for independent podcasts like ours, reviews are what determine whether we grow or disappear into the algorithm. Your words generally help keep this show alive.
And we're so grateful you're here.
To understand how Betty Gore died, we have to understand how normal everything looked.
A church, a neighborhood, two families who trusted each other.
Because this didn't begin with an axe. It began with an affair. In 1980, Wylie, Texas felt like the kind of place where nothing truly terrible could happen. Families knew each other. Church wasn't optional, it was central. Weeknights was spent at volleyball games, potlucks, or backyard barbecues. It was growing, but still small enough that trust came easily. And trust ran deep.
Betty Gore was 30 years old, married to Alan Gore, an electrical engineer whose job required frequent travel. They had 2 daughters. The youngest was just a baby, which meant Betty spent long stretches alone at home.
Friends described her as intelligent and capable, but she was also adjusting. A newborn, a toddler, a husband often out of town. The kind of quiet isolation that doesn't look dramatic from the outside.
Nothing about Betty's life suggested violence. It suggested routine, responsibility, and a lot of time inside her own thoughts.
Candy Montgomery lived nearby with her husband Pat and their 2 children. She and Betty met through Lucas Methodist Church. They played on the same church volleyball team. Their daughters played together. They prayed together.
That's what's fucked up.
I know. It is.
Candy was confident, organized, social. The type of woman who volunteered first, who remembers schedules, who kept things running smoothly. She and Betty weren't casual acquaintances. They were close friends. Close enough to drop by unannounced. Close enough to share personal struggles. And close enough to trust.
Alan Gore, Betty's husband, traveled often for work, which meant evenings alone for Betty, long stretches of independence and silence.
Candy's marriage to Pat wasn't explosive. It wasn't dramatic. But by most accounts, it had settled. Comfortable, predictable, routine.
And sometimes, routine feels like distance.
It was during one of those church volleyball gatherings that Alan, Betty's husband, and Candy began talking more privately. Not flirting. Talking. About dissatisfaction. And feeling unseen. About wanting something that felt new.
They didn't stumble into an affair. They discussed it. Should they do this? Should they set rules? Should they keep emotion out of it? Dumbasses.
I know. They did. They had rules. They had a list of rules.
Yeah, on the show, it showed them putting together like a fucking board.
Yeah.
Of like do's and don'ts.
Dudes said, why and why not? The why not.
Here's your why not. You're fucking married, both of you dumbasses.
Yeah, it said, why not? Fear of being caught. Why
Pros
not?
and cons. The
Guilt of emotions, so don't fall for each other.
She's the one who's like, and if we do start having feelings, we gotta cut it off right away.
This is why they've always said friends with benefits does not work, because somebody normally ends up falling for the other person.
I don't know. What the fuck? Like, if you're not happy and you're married, anything, just
Leave.
fucking divorce.
Just say, I'm done, I'm separating from you, we're gonna get a divorce, here's the contract, sign it, and leave. But no, this one's like, we can't get caught. Oh no, I got caught, so now I gotta kill this wife 41 times with a fucking axe.
I'm not laughing because that, I'm just, yeah.
Like here, that makes the most sense.
Yeah.
Instead of a divorce that might cost me like $6,000, I'm just gonna murder this bitch.
Right.
It'd just be easier. One axe swing isn't enough. Let me just keep repeatedly doing it until I know she's chopped up.
But they negotiated it.
No emotional attachment. No disrupting their families. No public suspicion. Meet only during Alan's lunch breaks. They chose a motel. They scheduled it.
The affair began in December of 1978. And for months, it continued. Regular, planned, and contained.
And during that time, Betty was pregnant.
While Betty prepared for her second daughter, Candy helped host her baby shower. She celebrated the pregnancy, smiled for photographs, and stood beside her friend.
And then during lunch breaks, met her friend's husband in a motel room. Scandalous.
I'm sorry. I don't like this bitch. I
Me
don't know.
neither.
I don't care. I don't care. It is, I mean,
Old Annie, fucking orphan Annie looking ass.
yeah. Anyways, I don't agree with the jury's,
Acquitting her.
yeah. I
Oh,
don't
that's
agree.
bullshit.
Yes.
I don't agree.
Acquitted, self-defense.
I don't.
41 fucking times. I want to be an investigator now.
That jury is fucking stupid.
I want to be a judge because something's not right.
I'd be fucking looking at these people and I'd be like, you fucking did it. Own up to your shit. Either you're gonna go to prison the rest of your life or you're gonna get executed. You're the one who brought it on yourself, you dumbass.
Yeah, who are
I
these
would tell
fucking
them that.
jurors?
And self-defense, like I said, one time might be excused. Like they might be able to, like, oh, that could have been, but even still, you can only take one hit to kill somebody, depending on where you hit them.
And 41 times.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know how heavy, like how long that would take?
Axes
how
are like
long
what,
would that
3 to
take?
5 to 8 pounds, depending on.
I want to ask the jurors who are on this case what they were really thinking.
Yeah.
How many
They
of them were
weren't.
paid off?
They weren't thinking. They were just like, it's a woman. There's no way she planned on murdering this person.
Yeah.
Because
No, this bitch.
because she was a churchgoer and because they were best friends, so they're like, oh, because she said something about being confronted.
You know, I don't care if you go to church every Wednesday night, every Sunday. I don't give two shits who you pray to
Right.
or what you believe in. But this shit right here, she was in a fucking Methodist church. and pulling this kind of shit. She was not a churchgoer. I don't care if you say, well, it just happened. No, you're not a fucking church person if you can fucking murder somebody.
She was using it as a mask. Like,
it's literally, that's all it was. She's just sitting here. Oh,
without pulling a string behind her head, she was like, okay, I'm gonna go here.
I'm a godly woman. No, you're not a godly woman because
both married.
Guess what? If you want to go by the Old Testament, nope. That's not right.
No.
Yeah, that's good, band.
I'm like,
no, that's no.
Yeah.
I like man kills mankind. That one's
that's
fucking
a good one.
Sick.
But I'm just like,
yep.
Like you can't. No.
I know. It's fucked up.
No. You don't. Self-defense does not say 41 fucking swings.
I know.
If you were going to say self-defense, you should have just done it the right way the first time.
Exactly.
But no, you had to keep on going.
Mm-hmm.
And the fucking jury was fucking stupid.
Eventually, something shifted. Alan and Betty attended a marriage encounter retreat through their church. Afterward, Alan later said his feelings toward Betty had changed, especially after the birth of their second daughter. He began reconsidering the affair.
But according to testimony, it was Candy who formally called it off. She told Alan it needed to end, and he agreed.
The physical relationship stopped, but the affair hadn't ended as clearly as they believed. At one point, Pat Montgomery, Candy's husband, discovered a love letter Alan had written to her. It forced the secret into the open, at least inside one marriage.
Candy admitted the affair to Pat. They confronted it privately and chose to remain together.
From the outside, it appeared resolved, contained, managed. But secrets that survive exposure rarely disappear. They return to their spouses, return to church, and return to normal. And for a while, it appeared they had. But Betty never knew.
In small towns, secrets don't disappear. They wait.
Especially when they involve someone you trust.
You know what was weird? Sorry, it was on the morning of June 13th. It was Friday the 13th, and then this Friday was Friday the 13th.
And there's one in March.
I know, but
we were watching
this, and I didn't realize it was on a Friday. I'm like, wait a minute, what? Okay, this is messing with my...
That wasn't a coincidence at all.
Yeah, it was weird.
That wasn't weird at all.
Yeah. On the morning of June 13th, 1980, Candy Montgomery walked into Betty Gore's home. She said she just needed to borrow a swimming suit. But by the end of that afternoon, one of them would be dead. It was Friday, June 13th, 1980, late morning. Alan Gore, Betty's husband, was out of town on a business trip. Betty was home with her 1-year-old daughter. The house was quiet, ordinary.
That morning, Candy Montgomery knocked on Betty's door. She later testified she was there to pick up a swimming suit. One of Alyssa's swimming suits. That Betty had agreed to let Candy borrow for her own daughter. A small favor between friends.
Candy would later testify that Betty seemed tense that morning. Short, quieter than usual. Not dramatic, just different.
According to Candy's account, Betty didn't circle the subject. She asked directly, had she slept with Alan? Not rumor, not suspicion. A question.
Candy said yes. She admitted the affair. Told Betty it had ended months earlier. That it was over.
Candy testified that Betty left the room. For a moment, the house was still. Then she returned, and in her hands was an axe.
A wood-splitting axe from the utility room. Something already inside the house. Not brought in. Not hidden.
According to Candy, Betty told her to leave, but Candy refused. She later said that she didn't want to appear afraid. She didn't believe Betty would actually use it.
Candy testified that Betty swung first, that the blade struck her foot, that pain shot through her leg, that they struggled for control of the handle, close, breathing heavy, confined.
The utility room was narrow. A freezer on one side, a washing machine on the other. No space to step back. Nowhere to create distance.
During the struggle, Candy said Betty told her to shh. A quieting word. A command.
At trial, Candy's defense would argue that this word triggered a dissociative episode rooted in childhood trauma, that something in her mind fractured in that moment, and the violence escalated.
Candy testified that she gained control of the axe and began swinging. When it was over, Betty Gore had been struck 41 times.
Some wounds were defensive. Some were to her head.
Medical reports later indicated that many of the blows were delivered while Betty was already on the floor.
41. Not 1, not 5. 41.
At what point does self-defense become something else?
There was no self-defense in this fucking case. This pisses me off more than anything in the fucking world right now.
I mean, it's an axe. It
And
has a
it's-
flat spot, like
what
right there. You could have been
sucks,
like
though-
knocked her out and left.
We only know Candy's version.
Exactly.
We don't know
No
Betty's
cameras.
version. Like, was that true?
Candy's version can go fuck itself.
You know, and I'm sorry, what were you saying? Isn't that true about with the Lizzie Borden? She struck her.
Oh, yeah.
mom? That's kind of weird.
That Lizzie Borden took an axe and gave her father 40 whacks, and when she see what she'd done, she gave her mother 41.
Okay.
That is a little weird, isn't it?
Just
And
a
then
tad.
Candy gave Betty 41
Yeah.
because she said shh. So I wonder if like it reminded her of her mother. Lindsay Borden killed her mother at 41 whacks.
I don't know. It was weird. That is weird.
I was getting high making connections. I'm sorry. Like Wizard of Oz and the episodes of Stranger Things. It was just happening.
That's it.
And then it didn't really play out because it was missing some characters.
Yeah.
Yes. But no, that is very weird. That's weird. I don't know how else to explain it. Yeah. It was her
41.
father she gave 41 whacks to. The mother 40.
Oh,
So yes, 41. Still 41.
just
With
different
an
parents.
axe.
They're
Oh, it
just
reminded
fucking
me of
crazy
that.
bitches is all they are. There's no ifs, ands, or buts.
Because when
Y'all
we
are
watched the
fucking
one with
crazy.
Christina Ricci, the kids would say it in town.
Yes.
That's why it reminded me
I
of
want to
it.
do one over Lizzie Borden also, but
Oh, fuck yeah.
I want
That
to
bitch
go
was
to
crazy.
that house, her house.
Woo! Bow on the go!
Gotta get that van going. Gotta get that van
Oh, I
down by
gotta
the
do the
river
Star
going.
Trek one. Bow on the go!
Van down by the river.
We gotta get the van down by the river going. Woo!
Yes.
My
Tell
mama told
Caleb
me
he
about the
finds all the
van.
cheap vehicles. Tell him we need an RV.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Please.
But now we need a
Please do
Winnebago
not.
because you told him we're getting a Winnebago. So we gotta
Please do not give him that idea.
Caleb can be the driver.
There we go. Okay.
He drives like a fucking grandpa, right?
All right, we're good. We have time to record and edit.
I get very, very pissy
Anxious.
because he sits in the fucking left-hand lane. And I'm like, you're one of those motherfuckers that I would have my car up its ass
Well, it's
telling
an
you,
RV,
get the
so-
fuck out
I'm
of
about
the
to say
way.
It's an RV, so hopefully he'd stay over where
Well,
he's
see,
supposed to.
Caleb can be the driver. You said
Does your
Michaela
dad
can.
drive?
Can
Yeah,
There we
Michaela
go.
can record.
Caleb just got to come with us.
we got a whole crew now.
That's what I'm saying. We just got to like have the money for like a motel or something because fucking
Oh,
it's
God,
gonna be our
motel.
recording.
Creepy ass motel.
Because if we're gonna do crew, we gotta get a bus.
We'll go Airbnb.
That
If we're gonna do us and a few, we can do an RV.
these bitches are fucking crazy.
But yeah, they are. Yeah, I 40. I'm sorry. There, and then that's another thing. You're saying it's self-defense, but then you said that something triggered you and that you don't you blacked
And
out.
it seems like the jury just kind of pushed that aside.
So-
Didn't even consider that at all.
Right. So, which tells me, so if you're in an argument again with someone and they tell you to you're just gonna kill them too?
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Wait, you're just gonna tell them to be quiet? Like...
And then
that new generation learns about this case.
But you know what I mean,
I
though?
was triggered. I murdered him because I was triggered.
So then what... Yeah.
She got off, I should get off.
Right.
Like,
that hurt my feelings.
I mean,
Texas,
so now I have to kill you.
Got acquitted. I don't
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure Texas is way different than that
that's
now.
just me.
A certain number of whatever kind of afflicted wounds, it seems like 2 is too many. And self-defense is out the door.
Again,
should be out the door. It's not.
I don't...
that
41,
takes
that's
how long would... Because you got to think of how heavy an axe is.
We cut wood
41
plenty of
that's
times.
more. That's at least a few minutes.
That's gonna hurt.
5 minutes.
Like, you're gonna be sore the next fucking day.
Well,
Pretty
in
damn
the
sore.
show, the husband, Pat, gets up because he was putting clues together that she did it, and he went outside and started... He got one of their axes and took it to a stump, and then he was already out of breath by 30 whacks. So
yeah, I mean, seriously.
I mean, Jesus.
So it's like pure rage.
Right.
That was that, and you know, people what I feel the jury
Like
was
it's
seeing.
personal. It was personal.
The jury was probably looking at Candy as she's a churchgoer, she's a family, she's a mom. She's got family.
That's what their defense attorney wants you to. They want you to feel bad.
That's what they always start with.
Yeah.
I think this case has really pissed me off more than anything.
I know.
Because the jury, the judge, and I understand the judge has to listen to what the jury's verdict is. I get that.
Right.
But I feel like they should have done more. They should have done another trial.
Yeah, where did her trial take place? Texas where? Like in the same town or probably not?
I think so.
Which surprises me because how Texas is.
Yeah.
So I say it looks like it came a long way.
Yeah. I don't know. It's messed up.
Fucking stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing but fucking bitches.
Yeah. And like I said, it just sucks because you don't know Betty's side. We just know Candy's
and
side.
that's the thing. She didn't get justice.
No.
She got pushed aside.
Mm-hmm.
And she got pushed aside by her friend who murdered her.
Right.
I mean, they did nothing. They did no justice for Betty.
No, they didn't.
Not a single thing.
No, and her poor daughter was there. Her 1-year-old daughter was
it seems like they didn't take that into factor
crying
either.
in the background, and that bitch Candy just left the baby crying.
I don't care if the baby saw anything or not. She knew that there was a baby in that house.
Oh yeah, she left it. The baby wasn't discovered 13 hours later, and she was soiled, crying, and her voice was hoarse from crying too much.
This was 80s?
Yeah.
And she was 30?
1980. Well, Betty was 30. I don't know how old.
Jeez.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm going to become a private investigator. I'm going to be Vela Becker's private investigator.
Hell yeah.
Open up. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Need to hire a private investigator? I'll do it because I will tell everyone they're fucking stupid.
You need a paranormal investigator?
Mm-hmm.
I'll try my best.
Hey, I've got the equipment for it. I got EMF readers.
They're wanting to open up Kurt Cobain's case again, but I don't know if
they're
going to.
Do it. Why?
Because I don't think they're going to. I don't know. There's like 10 points of evidence showing that he was murdered, apparently.
Well, here's my thing.
So if they can do that, then they can reopen cases like this.
He shot himself with a shotgun to the head.
Yeah.
It's not that easy unless it's a pistol grip shotgun. It's not that easy to get the barrel.
The amount of heroin in his body wouldn't have let him. I don't know. I mean, I can see both sides. I know he was a very sad, depressed person.
Mm-hmm.
I understand. I mean, some of the things make sense, but then other things don't make sense. I don't know.
The whole gun to me doesn't make sense because honestly, he probably did not have a pistol grip shotgun because back then I don't even think those were legal.
Yeah.
But I mean, you got to think the barrel length between where he shot himself at. I mean,
you have to have long ass arms.
You got to have
his feet.
That trigger.
They thought they might have used his feet.
And that trigger's not some triggers are extremely easy to pull, but on a shotgun, some of them you got to work with it.
Right.
And that's why I've always said to me, he had to have been murdered because I'm thinking of the size of the shotgun in my head and what gauge shotgun he used too, because you got to think there's a shit ton of recoil when it comes to shotguns.
He had his friend buy him the shotgun for self-defense.
To me, that sounds really...
Was he fighting his demons?
I don't know. That's just apparently he had one of his good friends buy him the gun. And his excuse for him to buy the gun was for self-defense.
Was it Dave Grohl?
No, it wasn't Dave Grohl. No.
Damn it, Dave.
No, I seriously think that it was a homicide, not a suicide.
Well, I watched the Tom Grant. It was the old private investigator for Courtney Love. Like, he even said, he even thinks she did it.
Yeah, I mean, 100%. You cannot look at me and say, oh, he used a shotgun. It's still easy to use a shotgun. No, it is not. I have shot too many shotguns. It is not that easy to put one up to your head unless you do it from your chin. You go up underneath your chin.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to do it, to the side of your head because you can't see the trigger. You can't really grab it from,
Right.
Depending on how long your arms are and how good you can actually hit that trigger with your thumb.
Yeah.
Like, he was murdered. He didn't commit suicide. He was murdered.
I love Kurt Cobain too. That's sad. With him and
Chris
Lane
Cornell.
Staley. Well, Lane Staley overdosed, but they died on the same day. Not the same year, but St. August or April 5th.
And they both sing the same music, so that's
grunge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dive.
But yeah.
Just so our listeners know, I'm a type 1 diabetic, so that's what that noise is. Hope you all enjoy that.
Hey, it's just our sound effects. It's fine.
It's just our added
it's just backing
timer.
up.
Just back it up.
Yeah.
Put it in reverse, Terry.
Put it in reverse.
Put it in reverse.
Oh,
back it up, Terry. Back it up.
Poor Terry.
He was trying his damnedest too with the...
He was. That was fun.
He just kept going.
Every 4th of July.
Yeah, you guys owe him some shit.
Back it up, Terry.
Betty's 1-year-old daughter, Bethany, was still in the house, alive, crying in her crib. She would not be found for hours.
Candy left the home, changed her clothes, drove away. Betty remained in the utility room.
It would take approximately 13 hours before Betty's body was discovered.
And when the truth began to surface, Wylie, Texas would have to decide what it believed.
Because what happened in that utility room was about to go on trial. It would take 13 hours before Betty Gore's body was discovered. When Alan couldn't reach her, concerns grew. A neighbor entered the home, and inside the utility room, Betty was found where she had fallen. In another room, her 1-year-old daughter, Bethany, was still alive, crying in her crib, unchanged, hungry, covered in her own waste.
Suspicion didn't take long to form. Candy Montgomery had been the last person known to see Betty alive. She was questioned, and eventually, she admitted to the killing. She claimed it was self-defense.
What unsettled many in Wylie wasn't only the violence. It was what Candy did afterwards.
She drove home, showered, changed clothes, and later attended church activities that same evening.
Biggest fucking hypocrite to walk the planet!
To some, that suggested calculation. To others, shock. The interpretation would matter in court.
Candy's defense centered on one moment, one word. Shh.
During her testimony, Candy described how hearing Betty say shh triggered a memory from childhood. She told the jury that as a little girl, her mother would press her head down and tell her shh whenever she cried. That emotion was not tolerated. And that noise meant punishment.
I hope wherever she is, people tell her shh all the time. Her defense argued that when Betty said the same word during the struggle, Candy psychologically regressed, that she entered a dissociative state, not fully conscious of her actions, not calculating, but reacting.
A psychiatrist testified that the shh triggered suppressed trauma, that Candy's mind fractured under stress, and that what followed was not controlled rage, but a break.
Prosecutors argued something simpler. 41 blows suggested intent, control, continuation. They questioned whether someone acting in true self-defense would continue striking long after the threat had ended.
And whether dissociation could explain the level of violence.
In October 1980, the jury deliberated. 10 women, 2 men. After only a few hours, they returned with a verdict. Not guilty.
So can a single word really trigger violence that extreme? Or was the shh simply the explanation that made it easier to understand?
You'd have to be a violent person, I guess.
I mean, working in the mental health field as long as I did, I mean, yes, it can happen.
It can trigger, yeah.
But this
that level of extremity
is different.
Yeah, that's
This is
overkill,
different.
man.
She has to think about it every day.
She's like in her 70s by now.
Oh, yeah. But wouldn't she? I mean, she has
She's
to think
got
of
to.
it every day.
That was her friend. That wasn't just
I
like
hope
a
she has
random.
nightmares of it every night.
Candy Montgomery walked free. She later changed her name, moved away, started over.
Betty Gore was buried. Her daughters grew up without their mother.
I just think that's just so selfish. So
Yeah,
selfish. Like, okay, I'm sorry. Again, I'm just mad too that she left that poor baby crying. Because that's apparently why I think Betty told her to shh, because she didn't want to wake the baby. Or something. I don't know
I can
how
see
true
that.
that is. But you left the baby crying and like...
You couldn't even take the baby with you?
And you knew that Alan was out of town. Who was going to take care of this baby? So technically you were putting the baby's life at risk.
They planned out
know?
the affair better than she did the murder.
Oh, for sure. They sat down. Do not do this, don't do this, don't do this.
They planned that affair
and
out.
I feel like maybe, I'm sure she might have thought about it, but I think this just happened. Like she probably went to go get a swimsuit, and then she's just like, you know what? No, I am gonna.
I'm already here.
If they got in an argument, I don't know.
I honestly think she had the intent to go over there and do that.
And Alan was gone. Actually, yeah, he was gone.
And she was falling for him. That's exactly what it all came down to.
That's what it seems like to
Because,
me.
like, one, she doesn't say anything about, like, kids. So it doesn't seem like there's any jealousy with her having, with Alan having kids with his actual wife.
Yeah.
It just seems like she just wanted him to herself, so the best option was get rid of Betty. And then maybe later on, she would have got rid of her husband.
Yeah.
Because who's to say she wasn't going to try and take out her husband so that her and Alan could be together?
I mean, who knows? It's all fucked up. But it says Candy Montgomery, now in her 70s, is believed to be living in Georgia, having moved there shortly after her acquittal in 1980 for the murder of Betty Gore. Following her move to Georgia, she separated from her husband, Pat Montgomery, and reverted to her maiden name, Candace Wheeler.
Wheelers.
Profession.
Wheeler.
She reportedly began working as a mental health counselor or therapist, according to reports from 2010 and later.
That's hypocritical.
Are you
bitch.
fucking kidding me?
Fucking
Well, in the
as
show,
fuck.
at the end it did say she became a mental health.
I'm gonna go get her as a
Did
therapist.
Did she counsel her fucking self and practice on her fucking self?
That's even worse, right?
Since her trial, she has largely avoided the public eye and has not participated in media interviews regarding the 1980 case, refusing to comment even on the anniversary of the murder.
It seemed Candy's husband, Pat, was more of a homebody.
Yeah.
And she wanted him to go do more stuff because that's how she was. She was always out and about. Whereas Betty was more of the homebody, while Alan was the adventurer, the one that liked to go out and do everything. But it thought Betty was on the volleyball team. But on the show, it never saw her at the scenes. I guess because she was already pregnant.
I guess so. But then their daughters played volleyball together too, or something.
It just seemed like they both wanted the opposite husband.
And I think Betty wasn't originally from Texas. I think she was from South Carolina. She was killed by Candy Montgomery, who had an affair with Betty's husband, Alan Gore. Her resting place is in South Carolina. And Wylie, Texas was left with a story that still divides people decades later. After the verdict, there was no riot, no public eruption. Wylie adjusted, quietly.
Candy Montgomery walked free. She and her husband Pat eventually divorced. She later changed her name, moved away, started over in another state. No prison sentence, no retrial.
The house on Dogwood Drive was cleaned, the utility room repaired. Life in the neighborhood continued.
Betty Gore was buried. Her daughters, Lisa and Bethany, grew up without their mother. Alan Gore carried the weight of a confrontation he wasn't there to witness.
In the town that carried something less visible, a fracture.
Some still believe Candy Montgomery acted in self-defense. That fear escalated. That trauma surfaced.
Others believe 41 strikes tell a different story. One of anger, a betrayal, of something that didn't stop when it should have.
But what remains undeniable is that this began with trust, with shared meals, baby showers, with prayer, and ended in a narrow utility room. Some crimes feel monstrous from the beginning. This one didn't. It looked ordinary. It sounded ordinary. It lived next door.
And that may be what makes it harder to sit with.
Because sometimes the most unsettling stories aren't about strangers in the dark. They're about friends. Thank you for spending this time with us, for listening closely, and for stepping into stories that aren't always easy to sit with.
If this episode moved you or made you think, please consider leaving us a written review on Apple or Spotify. It truly makes a difference for independent shows like ours.
Your support helps Veil of Echoes reach new listeners and keeps these stories from fading into silence. And we're grateful for every single one of you.
What would you do if you lost 2 hours of your life, and the only thing you remember is a light in the sky that wasn't there before?
In 1961, a married couple driving through a rural New Hampshire report something impossible.
Missing time, unexplained scars, and memories that only surfaced under hypnosis.
This Friday, we step into the story of Betty and Barney Hill, the first widely reported alien abduction case in America. Were they mistaken, manipulated by memory, or taken? Until then, keep your ears open.
And the veil closed.